searching for the thread that might read me. I'm looking to you. I'm holding on to you. I've been wandering through this world, looking for an anchor to hold me. I've been stumbling through this world, searching for the thread that might free me. I am looking to, I've been holding on to you. I'm looking to, I've been holding on to you. I've been wandering through this world, looking for a love that might free me.
My name is David Ellis, and I'm really, really glad you guys are here. That's actually a song by a group I really like, and the song is called Wandering. And that's something that I know I really identified with. I feel like for a lot of my life, I've been wandering. And if you could pick out the words she was singing, I've been wandering through this world looking for a thread that might free me. I've been wandering through this world looking for a love that might free me. And that's something that I think that's us. That's the human heart. We're looking for something that's going to free us, that we're going to feel connected. And that's what this class is really about. Our journey over the next, I'll say 6 sessions, is really designed to unearth the voices, the 3 voices that speak to all of us. Because we all have 3 Father voices that speak to us. Whether we hear them or not, we do. And I picked the word unearth on purpose. Why do we need to unearth these voices? Well, it's because those voices are often buried. They're often buried. For some, they're buried under numbness that comes from just busyness. I mean, we live in a very, very busy world. And so that can numb us, just busyness, boredom, that can numb us. And so those voices get buried under that. Some, the voices are buried under wounds that are still tender from a father that caused harm and chaos instead of wholeness. For some, it's buried beneath fear of what you might find beneath the facade of, for some, a facade of happiness, right? Happy, everything's good. I'm good. Everything's good. Everything's all good. For some, it's a mask or it's a facade of cynicism, right? Nothing hurts me. I'm good. I'm good, but because I'm cynical. I don't let anyone get too close. And for some, it's unearthing the voices because a father was never in the picture. Maybe it was divorce. Maybe it was death. Maybe it's the dad that just went AWOL. Was never there. So that voice was absent. But those deep questions of all of our hearts, those have been lost and forgotten. So we have to unearth it. We have to go on a mission, a journey to unearth those voices, to understand what are they saying? What are we hearing? Because no matter what your story is, those voices are there. And each of them are speaking to us, each one of us, every minute, every second of every day. They're whispering. For many of us, kind of, sometimes even just kind of behind our I won't say conscious mind, but kind of behind our awareness. And so we want to go and go on a quest to hear those voices and understand, because each one of those Father voices is trying to answer the core questions of all of our hearts. Each of us have these three core questions. We want to know who am I? What's our identity? We want to know, what am I worth? What's our value? And we want to understand, why are we on this earth? What was I put here for? What's my destiny? So 3 core questions, 3 voices, trying to answer those. Which one we choose to believe literally makes the difference between life and death. It really does. So our destination is going to be finding, for some of us maybe even the first time, or for some of us maybe just more clearly than we have before, those voices. And ultimately we want to hear the voice of our true Father, because we each have a true Father. So it's going on that journey. So I want to give just a little bit of guidance as we go on this to get the most out of this focus group. The first is, I've done a lot of retreats. I've done a lot of teachings. The first one is just to resist the urge, the pull, the draw, to think it's just normal. It's just one more thing I'm doing. I want you to live with anticipation that God can speak to you through what we're going to do in this session, in these sessions. That something new can happen in your life. That things don't have to always be just the way they were. The other is to commit to be here each week. Each of these sessions will progressively build on the last one. So it will be really difficult if you miss one. And I know life happens and you might, but talk to your neighbor, when you get back, or connect with someone here and go, hey, I'm going to be out next week. Can you take notes for me, or something, or give me a call, let me know what we talked about, so that you can be with the rest of the group. The other is that I really would like this to be, and one of the reasons I really like to sign up is, after today, I'm going to say no one else can join. A, because of what the previous point is, right? This is going to progressively build. The other is, one of the great benefits of walking through this together is that I would like this to be a group where you can feel comfortable to at least be a little transparent. And in order to accomplish that, we have to have a group that we say, okay, this is it, this is us, right? And so you get to know some of the people at your table. You can start to form some relationships that maybe you haven't had before, so that we can have that. And I would ask each one of you, being in here, when someone shares something in here, we all have to be committed to say, hey, it'll stay in this room. Unless someone says, hey, I'm okay if you share that. Everything I say, you can share. But that isn't necessarily the same for each other. So if we all say, hey, if someone shares something in this room publicly, it just stays here, right? Which really helps us do the number 4 thing, which is, open up. Each of us struggle at some level with a Father's voice. And so if we can be open and be transparent, your story will help someone else. My story will help someone else. And so if we can be open, be transparent with one another, but also with yourself. There's things that we'll go through and talk about where, honesty a lot of times ends up having to start right here before I can then go, okay, God, this is what's really going on, before I can actually talk to someone else or share with someone else. So be committed to being transparent. It doesn't mean you have to tell everything, But being transparent is more of a posture of, I'm going to be open, and if I feel something or feel like God wants me to share something, I'm going to do it, And then be interactive. Again, we do tables because I want you guys to, even if you don't like each other after today, commit to go, okay, we'll sit together each week, right? So, because we can start to share with one another. And build relationships at your table. Doesn't mean you can't move around a little bit, but again, I think to try to foster some of that transparency, it's really good to go, okay, you pick this seat, it's your seat now, all right? So you can take it, that one you can, yeah. And where are we going? So one of the pieces that I really want to share is we'll talk about a lot of concepts. And so I want you to learn here, but it's got to drop down. What they say, that's the furthest 12 inches, right? It's from here to here. Learn with your head, but discover with your heart. And I think especially in modern Christianity, modern America, modern church, a lot of people know a lot of things about, right? We know about a lot of things, but we lack experience of, right? And so when the Bible talks about, be still, know He is God, they don't mean know He is God. They mean experience Him as God, right? So I want our class to be about that. So that's a decision we each have to make. So this week and next week, we're going to be talking about voice one, which is really about deciphering your story, learning the foundational role, the voice of your dad. And we'll discover how the past has constructed your normal, that impacts you today. So that's where we're going to go today. We'll do a little bit more kind of overview today and delve a little bit deeper into voice one next week, but we'll start today. And then weeks 3 and 4, we'll talk about deconstructing the lies. We'll learn the pathway to what I call the fatherless cycle, because that's the second voice, the voice of the father of lies. His goal is to be a father to you, but a father of lies, which leads you to be fatherless. And we all are on this pathway in the fatherless cycle at some level. So we'll learn how to recognize that illegitimate voice of the enemy. I call him the interpreter, right? He takes things and interprets them for you. And then the last 2 weeks, we'll talk about discovering your true father, that third voice, and learning how to replace the fatherless cycle with a loved son or a loved daughter life, because that's really the goal. And so we'll discover there, how to hear this beckoning. And in my book, I said it's a very difficult voice to hear, not because it's not speaking, but because the other two voices are so loud, way louder than we think they are. So it's really hard to hear that last voice, but it is beckoning us, this voice of a true father. And we want to learn how to hear that voice better and then stop living as orphans.